This is pretty much the ultimate sort of T-54 game. It has everything you would expect from a T-54 in it. It's a really good showcase of the tank's capabilities, and it's quite a fun match to play as well. So I'm platooned up with Viet Campo. We're running both our T-54s because they do work very well in pairs, or in threes if we'd had another platoon mate at the time. This is 8.11. This game was played a couple of weeks ago when the patch first hit. Excuse me. And Wargaming have added 2 new crossings, one in the north and one in the south. They're both forward points. They've also moved the cap zones around. It's made the map less campy, but it's still not exactly the best map in the game. You'll have to excuse my constant coughing. I've just gotten over a flu and I'm still a bit not feeling too great. So first things first, we're taking the castle. It's a pretty important position. It gives you good shots across at these guys as they come across the bridge. So first thing, Wheezy 120 gets lit. He realizes he's spotted and bails towards the riverbank. I guess he wanted to try and find some cover there, but he's basically voluntarily making himself irrelevant for the upcoming engagement. So KV4 is distracted and I try and get to work on it. At this point though, I'm still firing AP, and 200 AP pen isn't bad. Against a KV4 at these kind of angles, a T-54 is really going to struggle. I could have gone to heat, but I didn't really want to just yet. I'm pretty tight-assed with my heat rounds. I won't sling them around willy-nilly like some people do. Usually it takes me quite a bit of bouncing before I'll go to heat, or if I know I'm going to need it. So in this case I just decided to leave the KV4 for someone else to engage. It's not my problem anymore. And I moved down to engage from a new angle, perhaps hit some of the tanks that are with him. Because the E50 was spotted down there with him as well. There they both are. And a Tiger in back. Now at this point I realise the E50's got a needle gun, the 88 L100, completely useless dead-end gun in the tech tree. No point to ever get it. Do not unlock that tank if you get an E50. Sorry, do not unlock that gun. Correction. It's useless. The E50 is the only tank that gets it, and it's not a good gun. So I'm held down to these guys, and every shot they fire at me is either hitting me right in front of me or bouncing off my very strong turret face. This is one of the T-54's biggest strengths. It may not have the hull armor anymore thanks to the introduction of higher power guns and gold ammo for credits, but it still has an extremely strong turret. And in this situation where that's all they can see and that's all they can hit, it makes it really quite dominant. So I'm able to just pop over and engage these guys at will. I know that unless I do something particularly stupid at this point, they're not going to be able to actually damage me. And then I notice the Wheezy 120 scooting up my side when he shoots at me. Now, he spent that whole time just chilling out on the riverbank for I can only guess what reasons. And now he finally decides to engage. It wasn't obvious at this point, but it became obvious when I got closer to him that he wasn't using the 122mm gun. So you can see I'm engaged on 2 different angles here by 4 different tanks, and yet my tank is bouncing like an absolute champ. Viet gets him a bit closer on the guys on the bridge. I get a quick shot into the side of KV4's turret. The Wheezy's not really being a threat at the moment, he's just kind of ineffectively shooting at me and missing, so he's not really a priority. I'm kind of dealing with both groups of tanks at leisure. And indeed the thing that finally lands a damaging shot isn't the Wheezy, it's E75. So I close the distance with him, I'm firing on the move. I know I'm not very likely to pen his turret at all, especially while moving, but it's just to try and scare him. It does actually work against pubbies. I get in closer and I notice that's not the 122. So I figure, okay, I can play this guy's game, get in close and mess with him. I switch to heat here, just because I want to try and win the DPM race. But then as soon as I get on his side, I go back to AP because I don't want heat shells being eaten by tracks. So you can see there, as I'm turning, I aim for his track to slow him down, and then I put my front left corner into him. That's how you brawl in a T-54 or any tank based on a T-54 chassis. You get them stopped, or at least get their gun off of you, and then put your left corner into them. Don't ever put the right corner into them because that's where your ammo rack is. If you're going to circle something in a T-54 and you have the opportunity to decide which direction, always expose the left side of your tank to the target. So always circle anti-clockwise. Of course, you can't always do that. It depends on the situation, but that's preferable. If you circle the other way, just be warned that your ammo rack is at risk. So I'm just firing on the move at this guy as well. Accuracy is not really a concern at this point because my innovated working him over quite comfortably anyway. As well as our team, we're still supporting from behind. So with the E75 down, it's just these two guys left. So that's a cool 4,000 damage dealt already, plus spotting. I'm not sure how much V it had at this point, but it was also a rather consequential amount. If I just quickly scoot across to the front, I suppose you wouldn't be able to see it because the hit marks disappear as you get hit more and more, but so many of those shots just skipped off my turret. So I come up behind these guys and then notice this Pershing's gun looks awful short. Terrible shot from me there, but oh my god, it is a dirt Pershing in a tier 9 match. Not a bad match. Really a good showcase of what a T-54 platoon can do in the right hands.